أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون ولا يحصي نعماءه العابدون ولا يدركه بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوص الفتن الذي بعد فلا يرى وقربا فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى وصلى الله على أشرف بريته وسيد رسله وخاتم أنبيائه ومبلغ رسالته وبشير نعمته ونذير نقمته وعبده المؤيد ورسوله المسدد المصطفى الأمجد أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الغر الميامين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد ورحمة الله الأبدية الدائمة على أعدائهم أعداء الله من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الحكيم وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى والدين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات اللهم صل على محمد السلام على المهدي الذي وعد الله به الأمم أن يجمع به الكلم ويلم به الشعث ويملأ به الأرض قسطا وعدلا ولا قسطا وعدلا كما ملئت ظلما وجورا ويمكن له وينجز به وعد المؤمنين صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Salam on Mahdi. الذي وعد الله عز وجل به الأمم Salam on Mahdi, the one through him Allah has promised to the nations that He will bring their discourse and words together via him. وَيَلُمَّ بِهِ الشَّأَثِ, and remove their muddled, disputed affairs to unity through him. وَيَمْلَأُ بِهِ الْأَرْضَ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا, and through him he will fill this earth with the peace and justice, as it will be filled with injustice and oppression. وَيُمَكِّنَ لَهُ, and will establish for him, and it is through him he will fulfill the promises of the believers. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Respected brothers and sisters, once again in these days of Arba'Aeen, we renew and refresh our affiliation, our connection, our attachment to this great hero of the history, to this great leader of Islam, to this great savior of humanity, who we know by the name of Hussein. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. While millions of people from all corners of the world, including South Africa, including Cape Town, flocking, rushing towards his grave and shrine in Karbala to say, Labbaik ya Hussein. We are here, O Hussein. And we commit and we pledge our loyalty and wafa to you, O Aba Abdullah Hussein. Of course, when we renew our allegiance to Hussein, and when we commit ourselves to ideals of Hussein, indeed, in our own times, we are referring to our commitment to his successor, to Imam of our time, Al-Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. When we say Labbaik ya Hussein, we are saying Labbaik ya Mahdi. Labbaik ya Hujjat ibn al-Hasan al-Askari. And therefore, I thought it will be appropriate to take one or two, or maybe I don't know how long it will take, nights of this Arba'Aeen to discuss the issue of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. where we have been accused of, I don't know, uncounted crimes and issues. Among that long list of crimes of the followers of Ahlul Bayt is our faith and belief in our Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let me take you to Quran. That is the background I have given you, but let us start looking in Quran, and I would like to read quickly tonight for you few verses of Holy Quran. First of all, the very first verse which I recited in my Arabic khutbah also. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Huwa alladhi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa deen al-haq liyudhhirahu ala ad-din kulli walau kariha al-mushrikun. This verse is among those verses which is repeated in Quran, not once but 3 times. In Surah Tawbah, verse number 33. In Surah Fath, with little variation toward the end, verse number 28. And then in Surah Saf, verse number 9. What it says? Huwa alladhi, He, Allah, who has sent His Rasul bil huda, with clear guidance, badeen al-haq, and with the religion of truth. Okay, then liyudhhirahu ala ad-din kulli. So he may make it prevail over all religions. Liyudhhirahu ala ad-din kulli. To make it victorious. Izhar means to prevail. Izhar means to take over. Izhar means to be victorious. Ala-d-din kulle, on all the religions. Walau karihal mushrikun. Though mushrikun don't like it, they will be very upset about it. In Surah Fath, same verse, but in the end, in place of walau karihal mushrikun, it says kafa billahi shahida. In other words, again the same statement. It is He who sent His Rasul, apostle, with guidance, with religion of truth. For what purpose? لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. So He may make it prevail and be victorious over all the religions. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا. And Allah suffices as witness. In other words, Allah is witness to this very fact and reality. In Surah Saf, same verse is repeated, and therefore I will not read and translate. Then let me take you to the 4th verse, which is in Surah Nur, verse number 55. Very important, very interesting. But it says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمْ الَّذِي ارْتَضَى لَهُمْ وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا يَعْبُدُونَنِي لَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. What this verse says? Surah Nur, verse number 55. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ مِنْكُمْ. Allah has promised those of you who have faith, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they do righteous amal and deeds, surely He will make them successors in the earth. لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمْ. Okay, He will make them successors of the earth as He has, or as it happened in case of previous people before you, and He will surely establish for them, for these people of Iman and Amal Saleh, their religion which He has approved for them. وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ, and indeed He will change their state of fear to a state of peace and tranquility and security. يَعْبَدُونَنِي, so they will worship Me only. وَلَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا, and they will never associate with Me anyone. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ, and whoever is ungrateful after that, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ, they are indeed the one who are transgressors. This is verse number 55 of Surah Nur. Let us move to the next ayah. Surah Qasas, verse number 5. وَنُرِيدَ أَن نَّمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. And we desired, it's our intention, that we will put bestow upon those who have been oppressed in the earth. الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, who have been oppressed in the earth, who have been subjected to injustice, and they have been made weak in the earth. What is our promise? What is our desire? What's our intention to them? That we will put bestow upon them. How that bestow, they will be bestowed upon? نَجْعَلُهُمْ أَئِمَّةً, that we will make them leaders. وَنَجْعَلُهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ, and we will make them heirs. This is verse number 5. Verse number 6 of Surah Anbiya, which is verse number 105 of Surah Anbiya, but in this series of the verses which I am present, verse number 6. وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزُّبُورِ مِنْ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرِ إِنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. And we have prescribed, we have written in Zabur, after the zikr, what we have written, what we have prescribed, beyond any doubt, in other words. Earth, innal ard يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. Earth will be inherited by my pious servants. Verse number 7, which is verse number 8 of Surah Saf again. Verse number 9 we already referred. Verse number 8. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Yuriduna ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم والله متم نوره ولو كره الكافرون. They want to extinguish Noor of Allah. They want to switch off Noor of Allah, light of Allah. Wallahu mutimmu nurih. And Allah is the one who will complete His Noor, who will perfect His Noor. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. Even if kuffar don't like it, get upset, hate it, are very averse about it. So these are 7 verses. I can quote still much more, but I just would like to concentrate on these 7 verses of Holy Quran. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, I don't know you noticed or not. These verses have some messages, and mainly common messages. All of these verses are speaking about something. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق is speaking about what? ليظهره على الدين كله. What it is saying? That Anbiya came, Rasul came, Prophet Muhammad came with guidance and Quran for what? So Islam can be victorious over all the religions. Is there any doubt about it? These 3 verses so clearly speaking, Surah Tawbah, Surah Fath, Surah Shaf, all 3 verses, which are almost similar to each other. 3 verses are saying Islam will be victorious. This is promise of Allah. Number 2, message number 2, which is very clear, that future of this world and earth belongs to those who have been oppressed. Future of this world does not belong to oppressors, does not belong to dictators, does not belong to corrupt leaders, unjust systems. No. Surah Qasas, Surah Anbiya made it very clear. What? Made it very clear that mahroomin, those less privileged, those who have been oppressed, those who have been weakened, those who have been subjected to zulm and injustice, they will come above. They will come over. They will be the victorious. That is what Quran is establishing. Another important message which we understood very clearly, again from the very first 3 verses which I recited, لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ, that not only Islam will prevail, but only Islam as a religion will be left. There will be no more any other religion. There will be no Christianity. There will be no Judaism. There will be no other religion. Whole humanity will reach to one common faith, and that is Islam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And if you look at Surah Nur, verse number 55, that gives a bit more clearer picture with detail. What I have said, these verses are saying Islam will prevail. Islam will be only the religion. Mahroomin, oppressed, will be, like Surah Qasas very clearly says. Surah Anbiya very clearly says. Nuridu an namunna ala alladhina istud'ifu. Those who are oppressed, they will become heirs of the earth. They will become the leaders. Very clear. But now, Surah Nur, verse number 55, gives detail. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. This is promise of Allah. So clear. In fact, very much pronounced and clearly worded. Allah has promised. Who Allah has promised? People of Iman and people of Amal Saleh. Good deeds and Iman. Those who have both things. What is Allah's promise? La yastakhlifannahum. Allah will establish them in the earth. Yastakhlifannahum. See, other verses are talking Islam will be victorious. Other verses are saying Islam will be only religion. Other verses are saying that oppressed people, weakened people will be leaders. But this verse is saying that a state, an establishment of Iman and Amal Saleh will be there. So they will not be just ideologically victorious. Please listen carefully where I am taking you. This verse is not saying that philosophically, intellectually, ideologically they will be victorious. No. La yastakhlifannahum fil ard. Allah will establish you in the earth as rulers, like others have been before you. وَلَا يُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ. Tamkeen. What is tamkeen? Means establishment. Allah will establish for you. What He will establish for you? Deen. Which deen? Deen which Allah has chosen for you, Islam. Allahu Akbar. Not only that, result of this, please listen carefully. Result of this establishment, result of this inheritance of earth, result of this istikhlaf fil ard, what is that? Your fear will change into sense of security and peace. Allahu Akbar. وَلَا يُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ خَوْفَهُمْ أَمْنًا. The fear which you have, the sense of insecurity which you have, will be changed into aman and peace. And then what? You don't have to surrender to anyone. Very beautiful. Complete freedom. This يَعْبَدُونَنِي وَلَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا is tawheed, but in the way it is explained means complete freedom. When humanity will reach, when insaniya will reach to its complete freedom, when insan does not have to bow down before anyone other than Allah. And Quran explains, يَعْبَدُونَنِي وَلَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا. You will reach to a stage when you will not worship anyone. You will not surrender before anyone. You don't have to bow down before anyone. No one will be able to associate with me, anyone. You will surrender only to Allah. You will reach to pure Tawheed. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Once again, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Message is clear. Islam will be victorious. Islam will be the only religion. And that again Allahu Akbar in Surah Anbiya, how beautiful it says. Like a conclusion, like a final result. لَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزُّبُورِ مِنْ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرِ إِنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. We have written it. See, when Quran uses katabna, katabna means we wrote. When wrote refers to something, what we call it in Arabic, hatman maghziya, means a reality which you cannot run away with it. Unavoidable. Like Quran uses word kataba for fasting. Kutiba alaykumus sama'am kama kutiba lilladhina min. Fasting is written on you, means what? Fard on you. Means there is no other way. You cannot say, maybe I can fast, maybe I can avoid. No. Kutiba alaykum, written, prescribed. Here it is saying, laqad katabna. We have written in Zabur. In other words, long before even Islam came. Even before Anbiya's time, we have written. What we have written? Innal arda yarisuha ibadiy as-salihun. That whole earth will be inherited by my pious servants. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, my brother, my sisters, question is, what is this all about? Now, I'd like to add one or two very important points. When you look at these verses of Quran, but it's not all, please don't think that it's all. There's still plenty. Baqiyatullahi khairun lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. You know, verses in the last part of the Quran. You know, some verses of Surah Baqiyah. There's a lot, but very clear picture. What is Islam saying? Islam is saying, never give up. Future belongs to you. Quran is saying, be optimistic. Never think that you will lose. No, this is Allah's promise. You will never lose. Maybe you will lose for a short period of time. Maybe something will come up and down. But finally, victory belongs to you. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please understand. It means what? It means, please, I'm taking you somewhere. It means Quran is saying that Islam, humanity, ours, earth is gradually moving toward where? Toward better. Is moving where? Toward better. It's going toward where? It's going to the point where whole earth will be under flag of Islam. This is contrary to some people who say that the best century was the Prophet's century, and the one after that, and the one after that, and after that they believe that we started to slip down, and we are going down and down and down. Sorry, Quran does not agree with this logic that we are going down. Khairul Qurun Qarni. That hadith, as some people think it's hadith, and we of course disagree, and there's no authenticity in this hadith, but they quote this hadith which says, Khairul Qurun Qarni. The best of the centuries is my century, or my century, and then better after that is the century after that, and then after that, and then it's not good. No. Quran is saying that no, future belongs to Islam. With all the problems you see, with all the challenges you see, don't think Islam is going down. Islam is not going down. Islam is going up. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Very important issue. Interesting. Listen. All that promises. Question comes in mind. So when this promise will be materialized? وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Allah promised to the people of Iman. What we see in the reality on the ground, unfortunately, is very different. Allah, I don't have to now go in detail. You know better than me the situation of this ummah. Where Islam is above. Al-Islamu ya'lu wa la yu'la alayh. Islam is the highest, nothing is above Islam. That's the principle. But where? Muslims, Allahu Akbar. Such a big population, such a huge resources, big parts of the earth geographically they control, but they can't even fight a small country like Israel. They are powerless. They are hopeless. Israel does whatever want to do. They cannot do nothing. As a great leader said, that if every Muslim will take a bucket of water and throw it toward Israel, Israel will be wiped out. But how hopeless we are, how powerless we are, that we can't do even a bucket of water toward Israel. They do. Enemies of Islam, Allahu Akbar. Now, as I said, I didn't want to go into detail. You know better than me the situation of Islam. And if you look at history of Islam, yes, there were times when Islam was very powerful. When Islam was very powerful. Islam was an empire. But was it really powerful which you can describe by, or which you can fit in this verse which says, Innal arza yarisuha ibadiya salihun. Tell me, brother. When Islam was powerful in form of empire, for example, what that empire was doing, can by mistake you can call them ibadiya salihun? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this promise of Allah is not a short-lived promise. That for a short period you will take over the world. Afterward, again back to the same. No, innal arza yarisuha about the soul. Finality is with you. So where is that finality? Show us, my brother. Some people will say, may argue, that victory of Islam is that message of Islam is prevailing. Because rationality of Islam, the message of Islam is proven over all other religions. Indeed, very true, very true. But today, if you look at human being and mankind, how much they are confused about Islam. Which Islam? What Islam? Islam of Al-Qaeda, Islam of IS, Islam of killing, Islam of slaughtering, Islam of selling women, Islam of... I can carry on and carry on and carry on. Which ideological victory you are talking about? I don't think, brothers, there is anything more confused and more misunderstood and more misinterpreted and represented than Islam in this world, unfortunately. So where is yuzhirahu ala deen kullih? Even ideologically, where it is clear for the people and the world, as Allah says, that Islam will be most prevailing, most victorious message over all the religions. Ala deen kullih. Where? How? When? Message is very clear. When I was busy preparing some points, Alhamdulillah, I tried to go in all major tafsir, like Tafsir Ibn Kathir and others, Qurtubi and others, classical tafsir, and I was really amazed to see that almost all the Mufassirin have said and interpreted these verses which I recited for you as final victory of Islam. As final victory of Islam. As final victory of the truth. But most of them forget or deliberately ignore to answer this question. But when will be that final victory of Islam? How will be that final victory of Islam? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That is really amazing. No one from Mufassirin, not no one, I will say at least most of them, the major ones, like Ibn Kasir, like Qurtubi, like Baghawi, like others. Most of them very clearly saying that this is a promise of Allah for victory of Islam. But how, when this victory will be achieved, they don't talk. They don't mention. Yes, when you come into a school of Ahlul Bayt, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhim ajma'in, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. You find clear answer. What you find? Indeed, these verses are referring to final victory of truth and haqq, final victory of oppressed over oppressor. No doubt about it. How it will be achieved? They connect these verses to what? To one personality. They say that all these promises of Allah, all these points of victory of Islam, prescription of victory of Islam, katabna, all that refers to no one but Imam al-Mahdi, ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let me say something, my brother. Before we speak about Imam Mahdi individually, personally, we need to understand the philosophy of Mahdaviyyat, the theory of Mahdaviyyat. Look, Mahdi is a person, but Mahdaviyyat is a philosophy. What Quran establishes very clearly, philosophy of Mahdaviyyat. What is philosophy of Mahdaviyyat? Philosophy of Mahdaviyyat is this, which I explained to you over and over. That world finally will be finally in the hands of those people who are rightful owner of the earth. That final victory belongs to truth and haqq and to oppressed. That finally Islam will take over whole earth. This philosophy is philosophy of Mahdaviyyah. This is established by Quran. And implementation of this philosophy, application of this theory, we understand in the light of Sunnah of the Prophet, is through no one but Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. Now, let me very, very quickly take you to what Sunnah says about this issue. What prophetic Sunnah says about it. Quran I explained to you. And I said, I really confined to those general verses which speak about victory of truth. But indeed there are verses like Baqiyatullahi khairul lakum in kuntum ashraqatul ardu bi nuri rabbiha, and so on and so on. We can talk about it some other time. But let us come to Sunnah of our Nabi and Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Again, in Sunnah, plenty is there to talk and speak. But I will bring few hadiths as example. One of them is the general one, the common one, broad philosophy explaining, and the other few I will bring specifically referring to Mahdi Salamullahi alayhi. Once again, Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There's one hadith very, very important. You probably have heard over and over. Man mata walam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata maitatan jahiliyyah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who died, man mata, and he did not know imam of his time, he will die like death of jahiliyyah. Bismillah. What does it mean? If someone dies without knowing Imam of his time, will die like death of kufr. Maut Jahiliyyah means what? Jahiliyyah is a period before Islam. Terminology is that the period before Islam is called Jahiliyyah period. Ignorance period, period of ignorance before Islam. Now this hadith saying, Man mata walam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata maitatan jahiliyyah. What does it mean? That if you don't know Imam of your time, you will die death of kufr. What does it mean? What's the meaning of Imam of Zaman? I did not get a chance to, quote all the ayat of Quran. There's one ayah in Quran, but it says about day of Qiyamah. But it says, Yawma nadu kulla unasin bi imamihim. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I really don't know why our brothers sometimes don't read Quran itself. We use word imam and imamat, they get very upset. They believe in imamat, they believe in this, they believe in... Alright, maybe we can differ in detail. But why you are so allergic with word of imam? Quran is saying, in the day of Qiyamah, we will call people through their imams. In other words, identity in the day of Qiyamah, ID card. What is your ID card? Imam. If you don't have an imam, Allahu Akbar. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I am not saying that you must agree exactly what we mean by imamat. But why so allergic to the word imam and imamat? But Quran is saying, Yawma nad'u kullu unasin bi imam. Quran is saying, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. And of course, opposite also saying, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ. Imams of Jahannam and Imams of Jannah. Imam of guidance and Imam of misguidance. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Man mata wa lam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata maitatan jahiliyyah. What does it mean? It means simply that you should know Imam of your time. So if you should know Imam of your time means what? That in every time there should be Imam. If there is no Imam, how you will know him? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. In our logic have a saying, we say Saliba bi intifai mawzu. Means, what does it mean? It means that if there is no Imam, what you will know about him? So if you say you should know Imam, it means there must be Imam. If there is no Imam, how you will know him? So if Hadith is saying you should know Imam of your time, it means what? That every time must have its own Imam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The question comes in our mind. So who is Imam of our time? Quran says, يَوْمَ نَدْعُو كُلُّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. We will call everybody through their Imam. In the tafsir of that Quran, unfortunately, people are a little bit lost. How to define that people will be called through Imam? So some people say Imam means Quran. So people of Quran will be called by Quran. Okay, no problem. Maybe. So you believe that Quran is Imam. Remember that. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. But Imam. So everybody will be called by Quran. What is distinction between us and others? Doesn't make sense. Some of our brothers, some of our ulama, scholars, respectful, they say, look, this wording which you are saying, man mata walam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata maitatan jahiliya, it is referring to ruler of the time. It is referring to ruler of the time. That you should be aware of Hakim, leader, ruler of your time. Means what? That you should know Zuma. If you don't know Zuma, you will die death of Jahiliyyah. That's for South Africans. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That's what you are saying. So what is the connection of Marifat of Zuma with Jahiliyyat? Somebody who is himself Jahil, how come his Marifat will be prelude to Iman and Islam? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Then they say, no, it's not Marifat. This is Shia version. Man mata walam ya'rif imam zaman mata maita. This is Shia. Okay, give your version. Nobody can deny this hadith by the way. Overwhelmingly reported, including Muslim narrated. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal narrated, others narrated. Now, I don't want to go in that discussion technical. Nobody have denied. They say, no, hadith is like that. Man mata walaysa lahu imamun mata maitatan jahiliya. If someone dies and he has not any imam, he will die death of jahiliya. I will say, my brother, you solved my problem. You made it even more easier and convenient for me. Someone dies without imam, his death is death of jahiliya. They say, no. The more accurate version is this one. Man mata walaysa fi unqihi bay'atun mata maitatan jahiliya. If someone died and he does not have bay'at and allegiance to a imam, he will die like death of kufr. Okay? No problem. You want to say that? Can you explain to us what does it mean? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Few more minutes, inshallah, brothers and sisters. I will be concluding. What do you mean by that? They explain that one of the responsibilities of every Muslim is that he must obey the leader, the head of state, Khalifatul Muslimin. Islam taught us we must be obedient to the government. They say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu atiqullah wa atiqur rasul wa ulil amra minkum. O people of Iman and faith, follow Allah, follow Allah's Rasul, follow those who are in charge of authority. So, it means whoever is in charge of authority, if he is King Abdullah, or I don't know Fahd, or I don't know this one, or I don't know that one, doesn't matter. They are authority. You must pay bay'at to your Amir. They say we have a hadith, which is correct. I do not disagree in principle with them. There is a hadith that Islam taught us that if you are three people walking, you must make one of you Imam, other two must be followers. Islam believes so much in, please say, so much in. But the problem solved, my brother, then what is the fight? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, we must not be rebellion against the state. We must respect the state. Then, our ulama, our great scholars are gone in details to say that what about if ruler was sinner, if ruler was fasiq, transgressor, if ruler was oppressor? They say no. You must still follow, you must still obey. They quote a hadith which says that you must follow your leader even if he breaks your back. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. They explain, because you must not create chaos, anarchy. You want to be unstable or destability in the society and destabilizing factors of the society. No! You must be law-abiding citizens of a society and a country. That is the meaning. I said, fine, Alhamdulillah. But can you explain to me? I also accept, of course. We also believe that if we live in a society, we should respect the law, we should not break the law, we should follow the regulations, understandable. But can you explain to me, following law of the land, respecting law of the land, what is the connection of this respecting law of the land with maitat and jahiliyyah, with the death of kufr? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. But some of our brothers are sitting here. I'm using Zuma as example. They mustn't get upset and cross. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So if you are in, somebody in fact raised question right there, when this explanation was given, somebody raised this question right there. He said that you are saying that we must follow the leader. From this hadith we understand, this hadith which is talking that you must have bay'at with the imam. You cannot be without bay'at with imam. But this hadith is apparently talking about one imam. But there are too many imams here. For Saudi somebody, for Kuwaiti someone, for Emirati someone, for Egyptian somebody else. And for us, sorry brother Khalid, President Zuma. So too many imams. But this is talking one imam, not talking multiple imams. They say no, it is possible. And they bring hadith. That world is too big. One imam cannot control. So Islam allows for multiple imams. Yes, the definition of imam you are giving, unfortunately, cannot control even a small village. But the imam which we are talking is wasita, yes. He is someone who is heart of this world, who is qalb of this world, who is center of this universe. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Man mata walam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata maitatan jawhili. Allahu Akbar. Now you want to say it like that, or you want to say other way, that if someone dies while he does not have a bay'at, an allegiance of Imam on his neck, on his shoulder, he will die death of kufr and jahiliyyah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Which Imam? Imam of haq, Imam of justice, Imam of truth, Imam of divine path, Imam of deen and taqwa, or Imam of fisq and fujur, Imam of zulm and oppression, Imam of corruption, Imam of slavery of enemies of Islam? Which Imam? Which leader? How can it is possible that we must accept that someone who sells his deen and iman and his land and his country and his people to the worst enemies of Islam, you are saying you must pay allegiance to him, so you will die Muslim, and if you don't pay allegiance to him, you will die kafir. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. No, my brother, that logic is not acceptable. Man mata walam ya'rif imam zamanihi. It means that Imam who is Imam in all its meanings and sense, who is Imam on the path of Rasulullah, who is Imam on the Quranic teachings and principles and values. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And if that is the condition, then who is Imam of our time? Bismillah, question came back. Question came back to the point. So who is that Imam? Man mata walam ya'rif imam zamani. Whose Imam? Whose bay'at and allegiance must be in our neck? Allahu Akbar. No answer. And we have answer. Ahlul Bayt have an answer. We are talking about. Ahlul Bayt is saying about that Imam is no one but Al-Mahdi minna Ahlul Bayt. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Once again, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now you think that we created this story of Mahdi? You think we have manufactured this story? Almost an hour I am busy speaking. Let me just quickly conclude by, I need to really move tomorrow, a different aspect of this issue of Imam Mahdi Salamullah. This part, let me finish it in a few minutes, inshallah. So once again, all together, a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Tirmizi, Abu Dawud narrates that Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La tazhab wa la tanqazi ad-dunya hatta yamlukul Arab rajulun min ahli bayti." Allahu Akbar. What he's saying, that this world will not disappear. This world will not come to an end. Rasulullah said, until a man from my Ahl Bayt, not Mahdi from somewhere else, Mahdi from Ahl Bayt. Ismuhu ismi. Beautiful. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Sunan al-Tirmidhi, Abu Dawud, what they are saying? Ismuhu ismi. His name is my name. Allahu Akbar. Will take over. Yamla'ul arda qistan wa adla. He will fulfill this earth with the justice and peace. Kama mulikat zulman wa jawra. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, from Prophet Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrates quickly. What he says? Al-Mahdiyu minni. Mahdi is from me. Ajl al-Jabha. His forehead is very broad. Allahu Akbar. Yabna Rasulullah sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ajl al-Jabha. Aqna al-Anf. Very thin nose. Yamla'ul arza qistan wa adla. Allah. Third hadith, Salma narrates, Sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abu Dawud narrated, Ibn Majah narrated. Grand Allama of Salafis and Wahhabis, Allamatul Albani, has regarded this hadith as Sahih. What Salama says? Prophet says, Al-Mahdiyu min itrati min wulde Fatima. Mahdi is from my family. Mahdi is from children of Fatima. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Again, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal and Ibn Majah narrate from Ali ibn Abi Talib, Al-Mahdiyu minna ahl al-bayt. Mahdi is from us ahl al-bayt. Allah will reform this whole world through him in one night. Okay? Abi Sa'id Khudri from Prophet. Yakhriju fi. Now listen, this is such a beautiful hadith. You lovers of Mahdi will love it. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Again, Allama Albani, this grand alim, they said, Ibn Abbas, this previous Mufti of Saudi, said about Albani this word, that there is nobody in this whole world, alim of hadith, better than this Albani. I don't agree, but that's what Ibn Abbas is saying. Now, Ibn Abbas says this hadith is Sahih. Sahih. Not Shiqa, not reliable. Sahih, authentic. And he says, narrators of this hadith, Ali, high qualified, very upmarket. Alright, what he says, يخرج في آخر أمتي المهدي. Allahu Akbar. Prophet says, in the last part of my ummah, Mahdi will rise. Then what? Listen. If Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal says, nobody call him kafir. We say, they say you are kafir. Listen what Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal is narrating from Rasulullah. He is saying, in the last part of the time, Mahdi will rise. What will happen? Allah will provide a rain through Mahdi. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. وَتَخْرِجُ الْأَرْضَ النَّبَاتَ. Allahu Akbar. Prophet says, rain will come through Mahdi. Plants from earth will grow through Mahdi. Allahu Akbar. Yu'til mal sihaban. Allahu Akbar. Somebody whose right is taken away, his right will be returned to him through Mahdi. وَتَخْرُجُ الْمَعْيَامَاشِيَا وَتُعَزِّمُ الْأُمَّةِ يَعِيشُ سَبْعًا أَوْ ثَمَانِيَةً. Allahu Akbar, explaining. He will live 7 or 8 years, whatever. Sauban from Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, similar hadith. Now I don't go in those, details. Abu Huraira, Allahu Akbar. Abu Huraira, very favorite. Abu Huraira narrates from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Bukhari and Muslim both narrated it. Listen. Bukhari and Muslim from Abu Huraira. What Rasulullah said? Kaifa antum. How you will feel when son of Maryam will be among you. Please listen, so beautiful. How you will feel when son of Maryam, Kaifantum, Vabnu Maryam fikum, and son of Maryam, Jesus, will be among you. Means Jesus will come back. That's all? No. Wa imamukum minkum, and you will perform prayers. But who will be Imam of this prayer? Not from Jesus, will be from your side. Allahu Akbar. Who will be Imam? Imam will be Mahdi. Salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allah. But now there are plenty of hadiths which speak about that when Nabi Isa will come. A lot of times these people ask this question. You people believe that Imamat is higher than Nubuwwat? Huh? Please, huh? You say, we are accused that you people say that Imams are above Anbiya. Imamat is higher than Nubuwwat. I don't want to comment on that. I have already explained on that radio interview what does it mean. But I want to ask our brothers, what about this hadith? It's not one hadith, it's not two hadiths. So many ahadiths are saying that when Mahdi will come, where he will appear? They say he will appear in Kaaba. Plenty of ahadiths again. Where he will make his call, he will take support of the wall of Kaaba. He will lay on the back of Kaaba, and then he will call for the people. So many ahadiths, plenty of them available. Okay? And then namaz, jamaat will be established. Now, what will happen? Who will lead the namaz? Imam al-Mahdi will lead the namaz. Who will follow this jamaat? Not one Nabi, two Nabis. Who go to two Nabis? Nabi Isa, Nabi Khizr. Both of them will be behind him. And Nabi Isa is not a normal Nabi, by the way. Ulul Azm Nabi. Or one of the best Anbiya, one of the topmost Anbiya. We have given preference to someone. Who is Nabi Isa? One of the best Anbiya, one of the highest Anbiya. But now tell me, my brother, you accuse us all the time. But this is your hadith saying that two Nabi will be making namaz behind an Imam. So what is the problem now? Now what is the issue now? How here in this situation, Imam is leading and Nabi is following. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar. Nabi is following and Imam is leading, and not a normal Nabi. Not a Nabi. One of the Anbiya of Bani Israel who came for one small tribe or a small village or something. No. Nabi Isa, Allah, who got the highest number of following in this world. They are more than Muslims, right? Highest number of people follow Nabi Isa. Now Nabi of the highest number of the people will be following not Rasulullah, a grandson of Rasulullah, successor of Rasulullah, Imam from Ahl Bayt of Rasulullah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala
Discussion inshallah will continue tomorrow night. How it is possible? Who is this Mahdi? We spoke about Mahdi, but we did not give address of Mahdi. We did not give idea of Mahdi. Inshallah tomorrow night. Inshallah tomorrow night, my brothers and sisters, we will answer all that questions, all those accusations. Cutting the story short, tonight's discussion in 2 sentences. Concept of Mahdi is not a Shia concept. It's a Quranic concept. It's a Quranic concept. It's a Quranic philosophy. It's a philosophy of final victory of Islam. It's a philosophy of hope for oppressed. That's one sentence. And sentence 2, Mahdi, individual Mahdi, who is Imam, is the Imam. You are required to pay allegiance. Man mata walam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata maitatan jahiliya. And third sentence, that Mahdi is not, we do not believe in Mahdi due to Shia hadiths. We believe in Mahdi according to Allama Albani, according to Asfaraini, according to long list of ulama, based upon ahadith mutawatir, not single hadith, Hadith mutawatir. What is hadith mutawatir? A hadith which is impossible to deny. So now, this aqidah, this faith, this belief has nothing to do with one sect, with one firqa, with Shia alone. No, my brother. This is Quranic message. This is prophetic belief. This is what Prophet said to us. And what we do, it is Quran's command. It's Prophet's command. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
The problem is that amazingly, all our scholars, Sunni scholars, have recorded all these ahadith about Imam Mahdi. And they accept, and they say it's impossible to deny. And they have, what they have narrated also, I read for you. Yamla'ul arzu qistan Allah, what will happen when Mahdi will come. But amazingly, they have never connected those ahadith of Mahdi with these verses of Quran. Are you with me or not? Are you with me with where the missing link? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And that is the problem. That is the problem. We do read certain things. We do understand certain things. But we avoid conclusion. We shy away from conclusion. Sometimes, brothers, sisters, we show greatest of the sensitivity toward the smallest of the things which is connected to Islam, to our Prophet of Islam. But we become most insensitive to certain things which is the spirit of Islam. I was going through in the news and so on. In our own community, I saw that there is a function where there will be one hair of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they will make ziyarat of that hair. And there's a whole program in one of the places, and zikr and salawat and everything, and to show the respect to one hair of the Prophet. Very good, I do not disagree very much. My whole life we sacrificed for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's one hair. Who I am, nothing. But I have a problem. I have a difficulty in understanding that when we are so sensitive about one hair of the Prophet, authenticity of that is also very much questionable. That after 14 centuries, we show utmost respect to that one hair of Rasulullah. But what about Allahu Akbar? What about someone about whom enemy says, not friends, enemy says that there was no one more similar to him, to Rasulullah? What he did to him? That when this young man on the plains of Karbala, Allahu Akbar, was walking, Hussein walked behind him and said, what? Oh Allah, be witness that I am sending someone for your pleasure. Ashbahun Nas, who was the most similar, the most closest person, mantiqan, Allahu Akbar. In features, he was like Rasulullah. In speaking, he was like Rasulullah. In walking, he was like Rasulullah. What Hussein says, and whenever we used to miss your Prophet, Ya Allah, we used to look at this young man's face, Allahu Akbar. He was so close to Rasulullah. But what you did to that Shabi of Rasulullah, that you crushed his body, Allahu Akbar. You throw spears and arrows on this, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Can I take to you to Damascus, Allahu Akbar? Few sentences and inshallah. Allahu Akbar. Where? In the court of Yazid. What is happening in the court of Yazid? Allahu Akbar. There is a tray, and in that tray, Allahu Akbar, there is a head. Allahu Akbar. In the tray, there is a head. That's all? No. That tray is lying in the feet of Yazid. Allahu Akbar. Is that so? No. There is a stick. There is something like a stick in the hand of Yazid, Allahu Akbar, which he regularly hits on the lips of this head. While he is talking, he hits on his lips. Someone could not take it in that court. He started shouting, "Oh Yazid, enough is enough. Wallahi, by God I swear, I saw with my own eyes, Rasulullah used to kiss this lips and forehead. You are insulting this. You are insulting this head. You are insulting this lip. You are insulting this face. Wallahi qad ra'aytu. I saw with my own eye. Rasulullah used to kiss these lips. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Where is that sensitivity? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Imam al-Zaman, Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salatu was-salam, in Ziyarat Nahiya, when he makes salam on his grandfather Hussein, he says, "Salam on you, as-salamu ala al-shayb al-khatib, as-salamu ala al-khadd al-tariq, salam on you, O Hussein, whose beard was colored with his blood. Salam on you, O grandfather, whose cheeks were lying on the hot sands of Karbala. Salam on you, my grandfather, whose body was chopped, whose head was separated, whose head was rotated from city to city, from town to town." Allahu Akbar. And then what Imam Mahdi Salamullahi alayhi says, "And salam on my aunt, on my Amma Zainab, and Kulsum, and Ruba, on those ladies who were brought in the court of Yazid while they were tied with the one rope." Allahu Akbar. When their hands were tied with their neck, Allahu Akbar. When their heads were without Arba'Aeen hijab, Allahu Akbar. My salam on my Zainab, when she was passing through markets of Kufa and Damascus, and the crowds were looking at them, they used to cover their face with their hairs. Allahu Akbar. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. ماتم حسين.